to the Raise Your Energy podcast. My name is Linda Lange and I'm your host. Have you figured out your life's purpose? If you have, congratulations, you're for sure one of the lucky ones. For a lot of people, it means struggling with finding theirs or to question if there even is one. And I think this is for a very good reason. In today's episode, I want to dig deeper in this topic and look a little bit closer to what it means to have a life's purpose, what it is, and actually what it means to me at this moment in time. So stay tuned. This episode by sharing what my purpose has been in the past, what I thought my purpose in life was, and what I made my purpose in life. Because there in itself you have already the first answer about what the purpose of our lives is. It's our decision. It's our decision what our purpose in life is, first of all. It's our decision if we don't have a purpose or we don't believe in having a purpose. That's perfectly all right as well. It's our decision if we believe that we have not yet found it, but we are creating that need in our life to have a purpose in life. It's all our decision because we are the creators of our lives. And that means if we are the creators of our lives, we are as well the creators of the purpose in our lives. But let's go back into the past. I never really had a well-defined or super inspirational purpose in my life. I never had a big mission like some people have it, right? They want to heal as many people as they can during their lives, or they want to help nature to recover. That's what I would have called an inspirational purpose, and I still do. So I never had one of those. If you do have one of those, I congratulate you and I appreciate you of having such a big mission in life. This is just so fantastic, and please keep at it, keep having it if it fuels you, if it makes you happy. So I never had one of those, but I had beliefs that fueled me or that guided me on my path until a few years ago. They were statements. They felt like facts for me, like how does the world work? How does the world operate? And what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to achieve? So the first one of these beliefs was to make money. Most of us need money to pay bills, to buy food, and to pay the rent or the mortgage on our home. So something that I worked towards for most of my adulthood was to make money and to keep increasing it. I thought this is a good goal to have, so kind of a purpose. We humans always want to evolve, of course. We want to grow, we want to develop ourselves and not to stand still. And I associated that with my career, my status, my job title, and the money I was making. The other belief that I had was that I needed to climb the career ladder. Otherwise, I would not add any value or be of any value. If I don't have a promotion every few years, if I don't have a bigger and better career, then I'm not worthy. So I made this kind of my purpose. I would not have called it a purpose, but it was kind of my North Star in life, my guiding light throughout my adulthood. I always identified myself heavily through my work. I mentioned that in previous episodes. And for others, this might be something else. It might not be work. It might be their family, their children, or even something completely different. Now, looking back at these two beliefs that guided me for a long time, I can see that on the one side, they were very strong and very impactful for me. But I know as well that they were a heavy contributor for me to burn out. They for sure did not make me happy or fulfilled or complete or worthy. They did not make me feel suddenly fully worthy of everything I receive. They did not fill that gap inside of me that I tried to fill, not at all. They kind of were opposite, because with every promotion and every salary increase, this novelty feeling, this joy, it wore off quicker and quicker. And the joy that came with being promoted and having a new job was becoming smaller and smaller. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. But I just did not realize that this is not a life's purpose, to live towards money and having a career, and that it could just not make me happy or feel whole in the end. These kind of beliefs or life achievements that I set myself came from a perspective of survival. It came from a scarcity mindset and kind of fear as well of failure, of losing and not having enough. And from this deep feeling inside of me that I am not whole and that I'm unworthy. That's what it was for me, of course. But I never knew that, I never realized it when I was in the middle of all of that. I somehow knew that I was not getting any happier, but I did not know that I was trying to fill that gap inside of me with a new job, nicer homes, or nicer and better holidays. So what is your life's purpose at this moment in time? Do you have one? Do you have a really big inspirational one? Do you have goals in life? Do you have a dream? Do you have something that you would still want to achieve in your life? Do you maybe have a 1-year plan, a 5-year or a 10-year plan? I had those for a very long time. And I reflected on this just like a week ago or so, that you get asked to have one of those when you are in the corporate world. So all of you who work for big global or international corporations, you will know what I'm talking about. You get asked in interviews to have 1 or 2 of those. You get asked in promotional panels that you take part in your company in itself. And even at annual reviews, when you have your annual review meeting on how you did in the last year, you get asked by your boss what your next plans are. So where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Where do you want to be in 10 years? It has become so common to get asked and to answer these questions in the corporate world and maybe even outside of it, as if you have to have an answer to them. Like life demands that you have a 10-year plan. And if you don't, then you just don't have life figured out yet. I remember it so clearly. It was probably about 7, 8, 9 years ago that I was looked down on by leaders in my company when I said that I'm open for opportunities and that I don't really have a 5-year plan. I was looked down on. And you know what happened after that experience? Of course, I prepared myself a 5 and a 10-year plan. As if this is the most important part of being alive, or being in a workplace or in a work environment and doing something with your days. But it's not. Life, God, the universe is not asking you to have a 10-year plan. That is not why we're here on this earth and in this life. That's not why we decided to be born into this human existence. It's just not. Now, I'm going to tell you what I believe at this moment in time. You can agree, you can disagree, you can agree with parts of it. Maybe something inspires you. I'm just giving you another perspective, my perspective on the purpose of life. The understanding that I currently have and that I have received or developed throughout the last couple of years from what I have experienced in life and through my meditations, and what currently kind of makes sense to me. And I'm sharing this with you because this way of thinking about purpose in life makes me live more happily, more free and more relaxed. It makes me enjoy life more and be less stressed. So I'm giving you another possible way of looking at life in case you are searching for something that makes you happier, less stressed and more relaxed in your life. I believe that my purpose in this life and on this earth is to experience, to collect experiences, whatever they are. My soul chose to experience something particular in this life. We manifest ourselves into this physical life, this 3D world, to experience it. In other dimensions where we exist as something else, there is no life how we know it. There we have different kinds of experiences than we have here. And this definition that I have now about life and about the purpose of life means that we experience all kinds of things throughout each life, and our soul welcomes them. Our soul selected and chose them. And that means the good experiences and the what we might classify as the bad experiences. It all lets us evolve and it all lets us grow. Ever heard the phrase of we learn out of our mistakes, or we grow out of hardship? Or have you ever looked back at a situation in your life where back then it was very difficult and really hard, but now you can see what you have learned out of it, how much you have grown and evolved through it, and that without it, something now in your life would actually be missing. So this is one aspect of life and life's purpose for me. It's very simple. Collecting experiences, experiencing this life that we have, grow and evolve. And most importantly, having as much fun and enjoyment while doing it. And what this made me realize is that we don't have to become anything. We don't have to achieve anything in particular. That's not what life's purpose is about. It's not about achieving. It's not about becoming a certain title, a certain somebody. The experiences my higher self wants to have in this lifetime do not have to be big. They do not have to be powerful. They do not have to be about earning lots of money. And for me, oh my God, this is such a huge aha moment and a huge, huge change for me. As you can imagine, given that the most adulthood I was focusing on this, on becoming somebody, having a particular job title and making money. And I'm still in that process of letting all of that go and loosening the grip of it all, because this is not what made me happy in the past and it's not what's gonna make me happy in the future. And I can feel that the more I can let go of thinking about life and life's purpose like that, the better I feel. So you might be wondering now, well, if I don't have my career or the goal of making more money in life, what am I supposed to be doing with this life? It's not about not having goals, and it's not about not doing anything with it. It's more about the balance of it. So let me explain a little bit more. We want to collect experiences, and we do it all the time already, right? But when I collected experiences in the past, I wasn't happy for most of the time while doing it. I did not enjoy myself for a big chunk of time of it. I was rather putting myself under a lot of pressure to perform, to be something better, to achieve. And when I reached one of these goals that I set myself, I would just move on and go for the next one, because that's what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I did not live in the moment and enjoyed what I was doing, but rather living for a future goal, planning, organizing for it, and even worrying lots about it if I would achieve it. But what we truly want to do is collect these experiences in this life with more love, with more enjoyment, and with more gratitude. We want to be more present and in the day, live the experience, enjoy life in itself for what it is. Now I can say I live more in the moment. I still have lots of goals. I still want to build something for myself, and I still want to fulfill my dreams. But now it's more about enjoying the journey of it all. Enjoy the moments while doing it. Enjoy as many moments as I can. And if I don't enjoy something, I will stop doing it. I'm just not gonna do it. In the past, I have thought that I'm supposed to be doing certain things to reach the goal of my career or to reach that higher salary. And it didn't matter if I enjoyed it. Most of the times I didn't, because I thought I would enjoy it when I reached that higher salary or I reached that new promotion, but that never happened. And I said to myself, no more of that. Life is to be enjoyed now. Lived with fulfillment now and not in 5 or 10 years' time. So I said that I'm living now much more in the moment, and I'm still learning to do more of that. I try to be more present and find enjoyment and fulfillment in what I do every single day. And that includes small things like cooking a meal and ironing my shirts. Really. I'm much more focused on how I feel, how my state of being is, than achieving something. That is a very different way of living, and I'm still learning it. I'm still on my journey of changing from what I usually thought life was about to a new way of experiencing life. And I have to keep remind myself of it when I fall back into that old mindset of thinking and judging myself for maybe not having achieved something in the time that I planned to do it. So in a nutshell, my purpose in life is now about collecting experiences and learning from them, growing from them, and not judging them too much about them being good or bad. I'm much more focused on how I feel while doing it. Focus on the state of being instead of becoming a certain status or a certain title. I hope with sharing my experiences, my learnings, and what I currently believe in and what I experience at the moment much more of, I was able to share another perspective of what life could look like or what your purpose could look like. And I hope I inspired you to maybe take some of what I told you today and maybe look at life a little bit differently from now on and see if you can bring more happiness, more enjoyment, more relaxation into your life and take a little bit of a step away from just achieving and just going for goals that are in the future instead of focusing on what is happening today in your life. Thank you so much for listening. It was a pleasure being here with you, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. And with that, I love you and leave you. Talk soon and bye bye.